Hi everyone, I just thought I would pop on and show you a little bit of progress that I've managed to make with the journals that I've been showing. This is the original one that I made before I started recording. So I'm kind of doing okay with this one. Managed to put a few pockets in, a few stickers. Still got quite a bit to decorate. Made some little pockets here. Stuck in one of my envelopes that I made. So I've got another one of those there. I'm kind of getting there with this one. So that is the one that I started off working on. This is the one that I've been working on with you guys and that I've been doing the videos of. So I have done a little bit of this without recording it, just because I wasn't really quite sure how I was going to fix the problem. So the problem was really that the paper, I sewed it in a little bit too low down, I think, if that's what I feel like went wrong there. So what I've done is, so that the paper doesn't sneak out of the bottom, I've put lace around the edges of the journal. I do that with my little journals, my little mini journals anyway. So that's what I've done. I've literally just stuck it down with Fabrifix and it's worked quite well. I don't see any sort of bits of glue that are shown through. I'm just going to pop the light on because I don't think the light here is that good. Let's just pop that on. Hopefully that will be a little bit better. And I need to get my big glasses so that I can show you what I'm doing. Okay. So, yeah, there's definitely, it doesn't look like there's any glue showing through. Because sometimes when you put glue, it sort of shows through the lace, but it seems fine. It's a little bit there, but that's minuscule. So this is where we've got to. I can't remember whether I showed you that I had just stenciled the inside of that to make it a bit more interesting. Gonna put something there. And so this was the cover that I made. I think I told you about this in the last video, but if I didn't, I was using this silk paper, but it was just so flimsy that what I decided to do was back it onto some coffee dye paper. So that was that. These are just the pages that we've got. So I'm not going to make in the other journal. I'd made a pocket where you kind of fold the page in half. Let me just show you if I can find it. It's always the way that you can't find what you want to find when you really want to find it. I did just show this, but just so you know what I'm talking about. So this is made out of 2 pages, basically folded back and stuck together. So you do kind of lose a page of your signature by doing that, which is fine if you've got plenty of signature. In this, we've only got the one signature, so I don't really want to lose a page. So I think what I'm going to do is so I don't think I've put any pockets or anything in this so far. Oops, that's got a little bit stuck down. Okay. So, no, I don't think I have. Right, okay. So, we're starting to decorate this. Now, I've got some paper here. I've also got some of the other paper that's left over. So I could use some of this to make a pocket. So let me just get rid of that. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll make one triangular pocket, and we'll put that, where should we put you? So started to do some stamping. Now that's quite a plain page. I might actually stencil that, so let's leave that where it is for now. Okay. I'll put you here, I think, maybe. So when I'm doing these, literally all I do is I just measure the length of the page. And then I kind of just fold it down. So let's just do it that way. Right, okay. So I'm going to fold that down to give us our pocket. It won't be a very deep pocket if we leave it like that, but we can go a little bit further up the page if we want to. So this would be the bottom, and that would go right the way up the page. So I'm going to go that far up. Probably about there will do us. Okay, let's just see. Okay, just as a rough idea. So edge of the page is here. No measuring. That's it. Okay, so that's as far as I want to go. That's that. Leave that bit of paper. Okay. Right, so what I need to do to keep the paper is kind of does have a direction, but then it doesn't have a direction. This is the kind of main central flower, so I kind of want to keep that the right way up. So I'm just going to trim away a little bit of extra along here. Okay, good. Not too bad. It's just a little bit not quite straight. Now, obviously, you can measure this. You can put it on your grid and sort of really line it up properly. Do it on a paper cutter. That will give you a much straighter line than I'm working with at the moment. But I kind of feel like part of the charm of the whole thing is having things that are not exactly right. Okay, so then I'm going to use these scissors. Just going to cut all the way across to make the pocket. Just going to cut a little bit deeper there to make it a point. There we go. Perfect. And I'm just going to use my Fabrifix glue. Always difficult to get this going. Just see if I can get off. There might be a little bit of glue bunging that up a bit. It doesn't want to play today at all. It was working fine yesterday. Do you just think it gets a bit gloopy? Sorry, this is probably very boring for you to watch. I can't get my glue to work properly. Might need to thin this glue down a little bit. Off. Let's see if that's enough to just stick it down. Okay. Now we're a little bit wonky because I haven't cut it straight. So I can just go in and trim that down to the edge of the page. There we go, that's all done. It's obviously not stuck. Let's try the other pack. Go. There. Well, that took longer than I thought it was going to take, and actually I've also forgotten that I would normally ink the edges of that, so I'm going to leave that for now. I can always go back and do that later. Sorry, using that big one always makes me cough a little bit at first because it's got quite a strong smell. So that's just one little pocket, and then I thought what I might do is in the second half of this is to, let's see, let's do it this way. And I thought what we might do is just have a square one for this. So I'm going to just chop it off here. This is easier to get straight. This has got a line that's useful. And then I can just fold that back that way. There we go. And we can make a little pocket at the bottom. So what we're going to do with this one to make it a little bit more interesting is just use my whole stamp. Now eyeball roughly the middle. And just put a little thumb hole in there. a little bit of ink around the edges. Make it stand out a little bit. There we go. Pop that there. Go, and this can go on this page. Right, okay, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm not going to bother with the smaller nozzled one because I don't seem to be getting a lot out of there. So I'm just going to keep as close to the edge as I can without going over. I don't know whether it's because the come on. Oh. See, even this one is not really playing ball with me today. I don't know what's going on in Glue World. But there we go. Now we've got our pocket. It's all lined up pretty well. And what we can do, if you don't have it quite lined up as perfectly as you would like, is you can squidge it over a little bit and squidge it down a little bit. You still have a little bit of time with Fabrifix to get it sorted. But what you can also do is to use your ink and just ink up the edge of the page so it all looks fine. There we go. That's that. That is that. And that is that. Okay. Well, that's all good. Okay, perfect. So we've got a couple of little pockets in there now, and what I'll do is I'll keep this one so that it's not too long, and I will be back and do another little bit of decoration in here in a few days' time. Let me just put the lid on that before it goes manky. Right, perfect. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll be back again soon to do a little bit more, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.